In chapter 25 of the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus presents in parable form a clarification of what it means to be ready for His return. Toward the end of the chapter, He lists some simple acts of mercy we can all consider to help support those people in the deepest of need. Verse 36 says, "I was in prison and you visited me." The Scripture is the foundation upon which the Kairos prison ministry is based. Participation in Kairos starts by bringing a prisoner, we refer to them as residents, to a weekend that introduces, or in some cases, reintroduces them to Christianity. You might say Christianity 101. This is accomplished through a series of presentations by all the volunteer, team, or clergy through discussion, worship, and fellowship. After completion of the weekend, the residents are invited to return to a weekly prayer and share. And it's a time of small group discussion, sharing, and it's accountability to their relationship with Christ. At Southern Ohio Correctional Facility, or SOCF, the time is also led by volunteers. Finally, on the third Saturday of the month, a small team of volunteers returns to lead a reunion or a retreat, which is a little bit longer time that we get to spend with the prisoners in either Bible study or some type of small group discussion based on biblical values.
One of the goals for this weekend is to overwhelm the residents with God's love. And one of the best ways to do that is with good food, including chocolate chip cookies. On that weekend, we're going to bring in 43,000 cookies. So why don't you look at this short clip and you'll get an idea why this is so important.
What do you do with all those cookies on a Kairos?
I usually give mine away. I usually give my Kairos cookies away. I don't go without, as you can see. I think you hear most of the guys that aren't believers down the hallway, they call them Jesus cookies. When are we getting the Jesus cookies? And that's an awesome thing. A non-believer looking and excited about getting something from Jesus. And that's what it's all about anyways. So that's what I do. I give mine away. To get blessings, you got to be a blessing. And that's what I try and do. On the weekend, they give you forgiveness cookies. And when I went through my weekend, it was a time in my life. There was a teetering. There was a lot of stuff going on. I was in a very dark place, and I was part of a group, and this group expected me to do some stuff, and it was going to happen after my weekend. And actually, during my weekend, they give you a brown bag of cookies, and they tell you, listen, give this to the person that you have to give the most forgiveness to. And the person that I was supposed to do something to, I sent that bag of cookies to him. And he had just went through a weekend, so he knew what that bag of cookies meant. So in my weekend, it not only saved my life, but it possibly saved somebody else's life with those forgiveness cookies. Because in me giving those forgiveness cookies, that relationship with that guy was rectified, was reconciled, and those cookies, in many cases, and I'm not saying in all of them, but in many cases, they save lives.
Now, if you want to work with God and save lives, this is what you can do. Get yourself a pack of cookies like these. We've got them from Walmart. We've used Whole House. They all work great. Cook them up. Carefully package them. It's important that we keep everything equal for all the residents. So package them carefully. Put them in a 1-gallon Ziploc bag. Get a hold of us and we'll take care of getting in touch with you to pick them up. And thank you for being the hands and feet of Christ.
Hi. I'm here to talk about a couple other aspects of the Kairos weekend. One of them are placemats that we provide for all the residents to eat on. They're primarily made by Sunday school kids who just love to draw for us. So if you have a Sunday school, we would encourage you to have them draw placemats for the residents for the weekend. It truly makes a difference for them on the weekend. The second aspect is Green Agape. These weekends aren't free, and we're asked to raise money to sponsor a resident, each one of us. And each one of us is responsible to raise $250. So if cookies aren't your thing, and placemats aren't your thing, we're always accepting money. Thanks.
John gave you a couple of ways that you can contribute. I am going to as well. One thing that we do is we ask for prayer. And we're in the prison on the 3rd through the 6th of April all day. And we require prayer, and we request prayer for every hour that we're in the facility. And what we do is, if you put your name down, if you allow us to, we would like to include you on what we call a prayer chain. And we actually create paper links and make a chain of each of the names of the folks that are praying for the weekend. And by the time that the weekend's over, that prayer chain is extremely long, and we're in a huge room. And it's a way for us to demonstrate God's love for each of these inmates, for each of these residents. And it's really powerful for them to look around and see all the visual things that all of you have done for them, that they understand that it's not just us, the guys that come to the prison, it's you as well. And last, I'd like to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone. On the 6th, which is on Sunday of April, at right now the closing time, I think you'd have to be at the gate at 4 o'clock. We'd like to encourage you to come to a closing. And I know that seems uncomfortable for a lot of folks. It's Lucasville Prison. It's a long drive, but the ceremony means so much to these men. And it's a great time of celebration where we welcome these men into the family of Christ. You have to remember that these guys, many of them have been in there 15, 20, 25 years. They don't have family. They haven't had visitors for years and years. People have just given up on them. And they don't know that you're going to be out there. And when they walk into that room to see you singing and walking with them, it's an experience that they won't ever forget, but I promise that you won't ever forget either. There are some logistics involved in that. I have a form, and all of us guys have forms. We need to have these filled out ahead of time, but it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And I know, it may not be something that you think that you can do, but I pray about it. And I promise, once you've done it, it'll be something that you'll always remember. Thanks for taking time to watch this video. Any way you choose to participate, we're happy. We're happy that you chose to be part of our ministry.